Honor your parents, a Dvar Torah for Parashat Vaetchanan. When discussing honor your father and your mother in the Ten Commandments, the commentators focus mainly on one thing. Why should the reward for honoring your parents have anything to do with living a long life? My two favorite answers to this question are the one my children give, because everyone knows that not listening to your father can be extremely dangerous. This is a viewpoint I like encouraging in my own home. And the one I give, which is that the Torah isn't referring to the length of the life of the individual, it's explaining how to avoid the existential meaninglessness of living a limited life by linking it with a lineage beginning at the creation in the hands of God, thus giving it meaning beyond a single lifespan, as long or short as that lifespan is. This, however, isn't the only part of the pasuk in need of explaining, and unfortunately most of the commentators either ignore or skim the next part. For this part, I'd like to share a short poll I've taken among a small sample of random people. When asked to continue the pasuk, Kabed et avicha ve'et imecha, honor your father and your mother, over 75% stopped after the words Lema'an yarichun yamecha, that your days may be long, ignoring where the reward was going to be given, Al adama asher Hashem Elokecha noten lach, tying the command to honor your parents with staying in the promised land. 100% chose the version from Sefer Shmot over Sefer Dvarim, but that's a matter for a different day. Truth is, it's very hard to blame them. I mean, why should honoring parents and staying in Israel have anything to do with each other? But the pasuk is written, and the fact that it's ignored by Chazal doesn't mean it doesn't merit discussion. That's why I was excited to find a couple of commentators who did refer to our question. Rabbi Naftali Tzvi Yehuda Berlin, the Netziv, says this is proof to what Ramban says in Parashat Toldot, that even mitzvot that we wouldn't normally consider dependent on living in Israel are on a greater level when done in Israel, and to some degree when living abroad might be kept only as a reminder for when we return home. Bag claims that a properly raised family is the first step in creating a successful society. If the Israeli people want to stay where they belong, the number one thing to invest in is the stable family. Ralbag's theory would fit right in with speakers like Stephen Crowder and Ben Shapiro, who say that the number one predictor of a successful life is growing up in a two-parent household. Two favorite answers are my favorite not due to their content, but rather due to their source. While presenting this question to my son Shmuel on the way back from shul, he gave me the two following answers. The Torah is offering an extremely practical approach to honoring parents. Any inheritance of a land in a society where all land has been allotted to the founding forefathers will be passed on to their descendants only through the previous generation. Inheritance might be automatic, but a father with a grudge might decide to give his land away before he passes away, leaving the offending children with nothing. Staying happily in the land Hashem gave you could be deeply connected to how you treat your parents. Parent honoring might be important on the moral national level as well. Territorial wars are common in history, and "you stole our land" is a recurring theme in these disputes. If one honors his parents, there is a greater chance he will share their beliefs and value systems, and therefore continue to uphold these same values and everything that comes with it, including the land inherited through them. I thank everyone who answered my poll, helping make this week's learning possible. A special shout out to my parents and children who were a source of inspiration, and mostly to my son Shmuel, whose insight this week was extremely valuable. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and forwarding it to a friend. As always, I'm Dovi Holt, one who loves Tanakh.